There's nothing worse than finally getting that quiet block of time that you've been waiting for and realizing that you can't actually get into the work that matters. In this video, I want to unpack that exact moment, why it happens, and how I experience it as someone in product. And right now, I'm designing something called PrecisionFlow to make those first 5 minutes really feel guided and clear as you get into that type of work. So for me, my peak energy is in the morning. That's when I'm sharp. That's when I'm creative. It's when I can think my best. But the reality is, I have more projects. I have more deep work than those sessions are available to me. So the time I finally sit down to do some of that strategic work and actually move the needle, I've already spent the day in meetings. I've already made a bunch of decisions. There's different context switching, different follow-ups. So even though I care about the work, in that moment, I feel stuck. I feel resistant. And it's not being lazy. It's not being demotivated. It's just I don't feel oriented. So this isn't just me. We see this constantly in product and design roles, leadership roles, really anything that requires some level of deep thinking, some level of strategic work, as well as rapid decision making and context switching. We're not just doing tasks. We have to hold context in between sessions. Like when you go into something, you need to remember where you're at, what you're trying to accomplish, what you already know, the strategy. And when we switch away from that work, we're not just losing the time and the focus, we're forgetting where we were. So when we come back, our brain immediately needs to know, okay, where am I in this? What actually matters? What was I thinking about before I left? And what's the real first step? And if those questions aren't answered, you start to feel, that's when you feel the resistance. That's when you feel yourself just taking forever to get started, that 15-minute window to get back into the work. So we're actually burning our energy and our willpower and our focus, just trying to reconstruct context. So that just surfaces it. It's the friction isn't the work. The friction is reorienting and entering the work again. So that leads me to believe that the problem is not motivation. Because most people that are watching this want to do meaningful work. The real problem is orientation. So productivity tools and just productivity advice assumes that you sit down, you already know what matters and what to do next. And it's just about distraction and everything is in the moment. But real work doesn't start like that, especially the deep, complex, the strategic work. We know that there's time required to get into it. So without realizing it, most of us skip the most important first 3 to 5 minutes it takes to orient ourselves. And then we wonder why starting feels so hard. That part is important. First thing to do is to reduce ambiguity. And that's how you get back into the zone, for lack of better terms. So this is the insight that I'm sharing that's changed about how I think about productivity. Instead of asking, all right, how do I stay focused? How do I get less distracted? I'm asking, how do I make it easier to remember where I left off? How do I make it easier to get back into flow, get back into things after interruption, after context? So this is where technology helps, and what I'm trying to solve with a product I'm calling PrecisionFlow right now is really to reduce the ambiguity of starting and resuming meaningful work. So that's what I'm building. In the meantime, if you're interested in going deeper with work, having more focus, having more orientation, I'm going to give you this protocol to try. Next work session that you have, deep work session or not, set how long, and ask, what outcome do I want to accomplish in the next X number of minutes? Not the whole project, not perfection, just this session. What is that outcome? Name that outcome. And then answer one more thing. What's the first step to get there? You'll find that you've already unblocked resistance in 2 areas. What am I trying to accomplish? And what's the very first step? You'll stop thinking about that without knowing where to go. So that's orientation, that's work orientation, that's a specific problem I'm focused on. If this resonates, I'm starting and I'm building around this. I'm building a product around this exact moment. I'd love to hear how this shows up for you, if it resonates or makes sense, and I hope to talk to you soon.